Okay, all right, and welcome back. All right, so today we're doing unit 2, which is fractions. Okay, by the end of the unit, you're gonna know everything you need to know about fractions. So one of the first basic fundamental skills that you need to possess is on how to reduce fractions. So let's talk about what a simplest form is then. So a fraction is in simplest form when the top and the bottom, now think about that for a second. What is the top of a fraction called? Right, numerator. And what's the bottom of a fraction called? That's correct, denominator. Right, when they cannot be any smaller as a whole number. So you can't have, so for example, you can't have 2.5 over like 3, for example. All right, you can't have decimals as a fraction. Okay, all right, now let's reduce to the simplest form. Now I couldn't write a fraction in my software, so this is how we have to do it. All right, I'll put a right bar in. So example 1. Now this is a very basic, what do I call it? Skill building lesson. Okay, it's not like we're doing word problems here. So reduce that. Now in class, we talked about that there are 2 ways to go about it, and I'll show you both ways. So the first one is to find the greatest common factor between 8 and 12 first. So we'll go ahead and do that. Now some of you that are watching this might have an idea in your mind as to what the greatest common factor is. But we'll just write it out. All right, so 1, 2, 4, 8, that's correct. For 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. Right, what's the greatest common factor? Yep. 4, right? Now the question is, well, okay, we learned that already, but why do we need to know the greatest common factor? That's really because of this. So you know how to find the greatest common factor between the numerator and the denominator, and then we can divide both of these by the GCF. Why do we do that? That's because as soon as you finish the operation, it gives you the answer in its simplest form. You can't reduce this any further. Now, let me use a different color marker. Some of you might insist on doing it a different way, and that's okay, which is this. Just find any factors that they share. Now, in this case, you can see that they both share 2, right? So you can divide by 2, okay? So that will give you 8 divided by 2 is 4 or 6. However, this is not simplest form. You gotta keep going, which means you gotta reduce it some furthermore. That becomes 2/3. Either way is fine. There's really no one conventional way to do it. Whatever helps you get to the end, here or here, you're good to go. Okay? All right, now let's take a look at number 2 then. So, number 2, same question, right? We got to reduce 15 over 18. At this point, we know that the greatest common factor between these 2 guys is 3, and that's that, okay? So if you want to, you can set it up in this manner, and once you've done so, all right, so 1 times 15, 3 times 5, 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6, right? You're gonna realize that the greatest common factor is 3, as I said earlier. Now, if you want, you can just do this. You see the slashes here? Okay, that's slightly more sophisticated way of reducing a fraction, or we could say canceling too. All right, so 15 divided by 3, that is 5. 18 divided by 3, that is 6. So the answer is 5, 6. Okay, now, some of you might also wonder, hey, why do we need to know how to reduce fractions? And well, because every now and then, the questions get so what? The numbers get so cumbersome that, for example, if I were to ask you to operate on this, it's just that you're better off reducing here. Okay? You're better off reducing here and reducing here. And given the fact that these two denominators are not the same, as you will find out later, adding it adds a complexity to the question that you would rather solve it with a simplified version of this. For this and for this. That's why. Okay? And also, because, well, on a lot of exams, they specify that you write down the answer in simplest form. So when do you simplify it? Every time, essentially. Okay, right now at the 6th grade level, where you are at in the school year, you really should simplify every single time. Okay? All right. Now, let's do some of these. So here's what I'd like you to do. Do some of these. No, actually, not do some of these. Do all of these. All right. Reduce them, however method that you're most comfortable with, and pause, and then we'll go over it. Okay. All right. Welcome back. So let's reduce 3 over 12. All right. Greatest common factor is 3. So 3 going to 3 once, 3 going to 12 4 times, and there you go. 1/4. All right, let's try the next one. 14 over 49. Now, I did set this one up specifically just so that you could have a little bit of a, activity in searching for the greatest common factor. Okay, so this one I will give you a little more details in the answer. And then 7, right? 7 times 7 is 49. So 7 is the greatest common factor. All right, reduce. 14 divided by 7 is 2. 49 divided by 7 is 7. That's right. All right, one last one, which is a little bit of a bonus. 20 over 30. Now, there are 2 ways you can go about it. So, in the way we do in class with the greatest common factor, you will realize that the greatest common factor between 20 and 30 is 10, which means you would get 2 over 3, or which means you just take the zeros out. Okay, you could do that. You could cancel these zeros out. However, should you choose a slightly, how should I say, slower method, which is fine, you'll get the correct answer. So let's say I know that these both are even numbers, so that would be, 10 over 15, and then you can reduce it furthermore. So 5 going to 10 twice, 5 going to 15 3 times. Same answer. Same answer. Okay, so that's that. All right, thanks for watching, and in the next lesson, we're going to talk about how to convert mixed numbers and improper fractions. Okay.
OMG, that was so good.